What should you be wearing this spring? Trick question. Whatever the heck you want. That's the answer. But for fun, we're gonna be looking at some fashion trends that are like pulled straight from the runways and see how we can replicate those into like ready to wear pieces. These are things that you can pull from like your actual closet from any kind of store. I'm actually pulling them from quite possibly my favorite plus size store. And I know those are heavy words, but I mean it. So today we're looking at clothes from City Chic. City Chic is an Australian company. The only place that I have seen their clothing in the US is in a Nordstrom, except once, in fact, just like 2 weekends ago, I was in Austin and I saw a City Chic dress in a Nordstrom rack, which totally checks out with the like whole Nordstrom thing. I was so excited. It was actually in my size, but it's one that's hanging in my closet. So now City Chic doesn't pay me, but I get to choose these clothes and they send them to me for review. And then the links that I have down in the description are affiliate links. So if you did decide to purchase something, I would get a small commission. I just like to be upfront with all of those things. So I really like to take these hauls and make them something fun. I've done like a capsule wardrobe with them before. I've done what to wear for New Year's Eve. And this time I decided to consume like hours and hours of runway shows, or what I like to call research. Lucky for us, I landed on some fashion trends. First, I want to speak to shoes. I saw a lot of kitten heels and I would totally have grabbed some kitten heels, but I didn't see any on the City Chic site. Another trend that I saw were shoes that had an open like peekaboo toe, kind of like these little sandals here. Now I would like to touch on color. I saw so many ice blues, so many cherry reds to burgundy, kind of like the deeper, more saturated red hues, and then tons of greens, like all the shades of greens. I saw a lot in the olive family. Looking at Gucci spring line, there were some good olive hues and then like some super vibrant green hues. And the piece that I decided to grab that I'm kind of taking from my green inspiration is this Isobel dress. This is, I don't know if I would call it olive or army green. City Chic calls it khaki, and I think this is fascinating. I've seen khaki on lots of different things since I've really started doing YouTube. Most of the time I would call it green, and I'm probably totally wrong. So I'd like your feedback on this, because I think of khaki as like slacks, like beigey colored slacks. I would call that a khaki color. I would call this like olive or army green. I would love to know what your interpretation of khaki is, but this totally belongs in my shades of green, regardless of whether it is olive, khaki. This has a really pretty pleated skirt. The top has more pleats, but they're teeny tiny. This is not at all the fabric that I thought it was online. Online, I really thought that it was more of a knit. This is definitely a woven. It almost feels like a chiffon. And then it has this really pretty attached belt that's like hard and soft. It's chain and ribbon together. The back is actually a tied bow. This is not a style that I had gone for in a long time, but I'm excited to see it on. Whenever this first dropped with the City Chic collection, I thought that is gorgeous. I love this one in green, and I knew I would. I have a skirt that has the same type of pleating that I got from a Wantable back in like December, and I just love the flow of it. I think that this is such a really great way to do my shades of green. It has this really awesome pleating up top and a halter that ties in the back. There are no zippers. The model wore this tied in the back. I kind of am playing with it. I like it on the side, but it can really go any way that you want. I did not love it in the front because I felt like there was a little bit less metal. So if I tied it in the front, the metal doesn't totally touch. You'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe I could make a really nice, generous bow, but it kind of ends here and here. And I feel like that would bother me all day. But yeah, shades of green, I'm all right with you. Next we have dramatic florals, and if you know me, you know that I love me some florals. I think that it's been so fascinating what designers did this year on the runways. I mean, there were different models that just were turned into a flower essentially, and it was absolutely stunning. I know that a lot of times that's avant-garde and meant to be just art, but I wanted to see how we can pull it to our everyday wear. There was this one dress by Simone Rocha that almost looked like little bird cages on her body. It was like cages kind of made out of tulle. In each one of those was like a full stemmed rose. I thought that it was so striking as an art piece. One that stuck out to me as a bit more practical was by Alexander McQueen. It is this gorgeous sheath dress, white with one stunning rose on it. And I would never have thought that like a realistic rose would be something that I would be that drawn to, but I did. I went back to it multiple times. The silhouette wouldn't go for me. I'm translating these into plus size in things that I think would suit my body. And I found this one that just really felt like it had that simplistic art of the Alexander McQueen. This is a beautiful silhouette that I think could be worn just about anywhere. It could be worn to the office. It could definitely be worn like to church, to a ladies outing, that kind of thing. It has those similar realistic flowers all the way down it. The back also, like the cut up here with these pleats also reminds me of the way that rose petals go into each other. Just gorgeous construction and artistic print, and I can't wait to see what it does on. All right, I knew that I would love this dress, and it did not disappoint. Here are my peekaboo toe espadrilles. I always feel weird saying that, and I am always positive that I'm saying it wrong. But espadrilles, I thought that they looked interesting with it, but this is just so lovely. I think that if I were to pin it here, it could work for work, but it definitely feels very dramatic, like a date night. If I wore a jacket with it to work, maybe like a fancy desk to drinks type of affair, I am just so incredibly happy with this dress. The pleating on it, the way that it opens, I just think that there are a lot of really neat details outside of just the dramatic floral print. This one I was worried had a high neckline because whenever I unbuttoned in the back, the button is really, really high, and then there's a slight opening, and we have a zipper here that comes down. The zipper does have a little clip. You know, for as fitting as it is, it's really very comfortable. I don't feel like it feels tight or restrictive at all. I can totally have a full range of motion in it. I just really can't tell you how much I love, love, love this dress. And these shoes make me like 6'2". They are so tall. Oh. Hey, Luz. Oh, and I matched Lulu. Look, come here. Next, I decided to take two different trends that I saw and kind of smush them together. The first is air conditioning. And let me tell you, as a Texas girl, I can appreciate that faux show. There were so many dresses that, I don't know, kind of like were arts and crafts. They had holes cut all in them in interesting ways. Tory Burch had an example of some really exquisite knit work that was studded, and then it was over a sheer, more tailored garment, and I thought that it was just lovely. And so what I'm mashing that with is the little white dress. So many designers had a little white dress for spring. Now, I would definitely not say that that's novel for spring, but I did see a lot of it, and I thought, you know, white's not something that I generally gravitate toward. Let's try it. A lot of them were just effortless, breezy dresses. Some of them were studded with really cool belts. One of my favorites was this Ferragamo. It was absolutely beautiful. If I could replicate something like that, I absolutely would. What I ended up deciding to go with was called the All Class dress. This is 100% little white dress properties, meet air conditioning. The bottom gives the illusion, at least on my skin, of sheer. It's kind of a beigey color. And let me tell you, what the top reminds me of is when I was in Germany, there were so many table linens that were done by craftsmen who had lived there and done that for years. And that's what it reminds me of, is just the, oh, my mother-in-law had a word for it, but it's absolutely stunning, like embroidery around fabric with all of these cutouts. Just beautiful. Like I said, white's not something that I normally go toward, but I'm interested to see what it does on because I think there are some spring parties where this would be lovely. Okay, for the take on air conditioning and little white dress coming together, I think it's nice. Sometimes I feel like white has a widening effect, whereas black has a slimming effect, but I don't necessarily feel that way. You guys can tell me if you do. I don't know, I think that there's enough visual interest. The color underneath is much tanner than my actual skin tone, and I really think that that's the point, is that it is not meant to match you, it's meant to be a base to the white dress. You can see here where the under ends, and then you've got like the peekaboo effect where it's actually got the air conditioning properties. And then right here under my arm, there is a white panel, and it actually has a smidge of stretch. Not a whole lot. There's enough to make it comfortable because this fabric doesn't have any give to it whatsoever, and neither does the under. It's really like a lining, like a suit lining where there isn't any. It's almost a satin type feel. So I think that that side will give you comfort all day long. This would be great for a garden party. It would be great for a tea. It would be great for crashing a wedding and where you really want to infuriate the bride. Don't wear it to a wedding. It's so funny how many opinions there are on what you can and can't wear to a wedding. Now, I would absolutely never wear white to a wedding. This is so off topic, but I would 100% wear red. I got lots of opinions on red and black. My bridesmaids were black. I had honorary bridesmaids at my wedding. I asked them all to wear black. Anyone who wanted to wear black was welcome, but I think that that is 100% up to the bride. So I like the little white dress. It would be ideal for a summer white party. Let's look at the back and go to our next fashion topic. Metallics. Okay, this is one that could have gone so many ways in the City Chic universe. There was this sequin suit that was in gold that I really, really liked, but it wasn't in my size in either the top or the bottom, so I decided to forego it. There was also like this flapper-esque sequin fringe skirt that would have been perfect, but I didn't think that it would look good on me. And so I decided that I really needed to focus on where the trend meets my style, and florals. As so many of you know, I am obsessed with dresses. I wear them as often as I can. I do have an office job that I'm able to wear dresses to just about every day. I might pull out my pants once a week. Otherwise, I'm on dresses all the time. So I did go with a metallic floral dress. Some places that I drew inspiration from the metallic front were like Carolina Herrera. She kind of had this disco fantasy going on that I thought was fantastic. And then there's this Christian Siriano. And one thing that I really appreciated about this is that normally I think of metallics as being hard. And that's kind of where I came in here, is he was able to take this silhouette and just soften it up and make it very youthful and romantic. So that's kind of what I was going for here with the Arlette. This has like a soft on top, which could totally fit into two others of my trends. with I guess lace could be a little bit of air conditioning, and then it also has some sheer elements, preview of coming attractions. But the actual print and I think probably the silhouette of this dress does make it much more romantic and metallic. Okay, so I don't normally think of metallics as being like sweet, but oh my goodness, this dress is just adorable. I think that it is beautiful, but it's definitely not juvenile. I think that as a grown lady, that the fabric has enough sophistication to where I wouldn't feel like I was playing little girl dress up. I 100% feel like I would fit in. I definitely do not think that this is a work dress, but it is definitely a party dress. I could wear it just about anywhere that I want to feel fabulous. I feel like the silhouette really has a 50s feel. It totally comes in at my natural waist. I think it's very flattering, giving my bust a good shape because of the sweetheart neckline. It has a belt that is fabric covered. And then the dress itself has an underskirt and a petticoat that helps give it that little bit of extra flounce that makes me feel like I'm a 50s housewife making my husband a pot roast. I'm just missing my pearls. All right, we are getting in touch with our inner office siren with some C-suite chic looks. Almost every designer that I checked out had some form of tailoring going into their pieces, whether it be actual suits. I saw a lot of suit coats with shorts, which was kind of fantastic this year. One suit that I really did love was by Christian Dior, not in a way that I would wear it, but in a way that it was striking. It was oversized, like almost in comedic proportions, and I was just drawn to it. A lot of ready-to-wear is drawing inspiration from these designers and the runways and finding ways that we can wear them in our everyday lives. I don't think that we're gonna be seeing crazy oversized suits anytime soon in our offices, but I do think that we'll be seeing different ways to take it so we're not quite so buttoned up with our suit preferences. I think that we're gonna be looking at some more wide leg pants. I think that there will be vests worn in a more fun way, and then definitely unique colors and styling. So what I decided to do with this was go with like a black and teal because these are some colors that I just love. And so I got this little strapless top that looks totally different than I imagined whenever I saw it online. This is a ribbed fabric. The jacket, oh my goodness, it has these arms. This was also in black. These arms open, they just looked incredibly dramatic on the model, and I'm all about being here for the drama. And then the pants just totally matched. They're suit pants, nice wide legs. Let's check them out. So C-Suite Chic had a lot of competition. I really struggled in what to pull here, mostly because I work in an office and my office is very loose on what I can wear. Like this would totally fit, but so would a really nice sundress with nice shoes. So I found a lot of different styles that totally fit and seemed awesome, power suit-esque. I think I made the right choice. This jacket is like everything that I could possibly want. It has a very fun color, it has an incredibly fun cut, and I really love jackets that don't just clasp in the traditional way. I don't know, there's just something about it that makes work feel more fun to me. If you look, whenever I have my arms down, it's just incredibly relaxed. And then whenever I bend my elbows, it doesn't feel like there's anything getting in the way. There was a lot of thought put into the construction of this. City Chic also makes a dress that goes alongside it. I wanna show you these shoes I also got from City Chic, and I don't know whether, I mean, and not every office would allow you to have like the open toe look. Pumps, flats would also absolutely work, but I thought that these were a really pretty fashion statement and kind of went with my little gold belt. This top's a smidge impractical for the office, mostly because of the required bra. But if you're looking for like a desk to drinks look, this might have you covered. Let me pull this out. It's actually remarkably long-waisted, and I kind of love that about it. And then it does have like the little, I don't know, I kind of think of it as like a sticky inside that keeps it from falling down. I feel like I could go through the whole day like this, as long as I had a very supportive underwire strapless bra. This is a top that to me would require that underwire situation. Sheer delights. Let me tell you, there were so many sheers done in so many different ways. And I would say that this one, coupled with like the short shorts, which I'm sure you've probably seen kind of out in the wild, were two that I didn't know how comfortable I truly was with, because I do like to be a little bit more covered. As I was watching, there were things from just layering some sheer all the way to like, why did you even bother wearing clothes? Because you're leaving nothing to the imagination. And then everything in between. Chloe had a full sheer skirt that was sheer all the way up to the underwear, and I thought that it was absolutely lovely. Certainly not practical for me, but a beautiful little statement piece. And then Prada took a more structured piece and did sheer overlaying to give it kind of a dreamy, billowy look, and I thought that was just great. And so when I started looking at City Chic, they had tons of sheers that were maybe a little too sheer for me. They had some sheer tops, and I thought, you know what, I could do that, but I would never dream of wearing it out. I would be so afraid of my jacket unbuttoning that I would not be able to be comfortable. And so I went with this beautiful dress, and I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna hold it up kind of to the sunlight, but it is sheer. I can see straight through like the blue, the black, the other black, and the other blue layer to see my fence in the backyard. But I don't think that it's going to show up as sheer because they did such a good job layering it. This has several things that worked for me in the sheer front. It's a dress, I'm not showing my underwear, and it's a beautiful jewel tone. I'm here for all of those things. I love this bold blue color. You know, it's wild because the top is actually completely sheer. It has lace underneath. I'm coming back and Lulu just needs out. It has lace underneath, and then it has this sheer element over it, and you can actually see the sheer lace through. And like, if we look right here, here's my microphone. I don't know if you can see it. It's not to where I think that I'd feel uncomfortable. I don't see my bra outline. They do a really good illusion of sheerness. And then whenever it comes to the bottom, this layer is completely sheer, but then this is like a chiffon that is going to keep you from seeing your unmentionables. But I do think that this is a really neat way of layering. I think that this absolutely fits my sheer delights. I think that City Chic does such a beautiful job of draping this style of piece. So a trench is a piece of outerwear that I saw a lot this season, and it's actually a piece that I don't own. There were quite a few from like Saint Laurent. If you look, there's a super tailored version that I thought was absolutely gorgeous. And then another thing that I thought was cool is that Gucci took the trench and made it short this season. So what I did from City Chic is I found just kind of a standard trench because I'm dipping my toe into the trench world, and I think that this one's lovely. It has a lot of really neat architectural pieces. You can see that one shoulder has the button flap where the other one doesn't. The back has kind of a faux corseting, which I think is really neat. It's incredibly lightweight. I don't know if that's the way most trenches are because, like I said, it's a piece that I don't normally have, but I'm excited to see what it looks like on. Okay, I've always thought of a trench coat as being a winter piece, but It is incredibly lightweight, and I looked it up, and everything that I've read says that it's really a piece that's for protection against rain and like spring cool air. So it is intended on being a larger coat that still looks very nice and dressy and is lightweight enough. And it totally makes sense because you see people in movies all the time who are in the rain with a trench coat in, you know, weather that doesn't look freezing. So I don't know, I think that's fascinating. This has so many really cool detail pieces. I love this extra element over here that makes it a little bit asymmetric. The corseting in the back, or the faux corseting in the back, I think adds so much interest to me as well. And then probably one of my favorite things, which is not really a feature that anyone else is really gonna see but yourself, is the lining. It's got this beautiful satin lining that just feels so nice. I'm wearing the dress from before and my arms are bare and it just feels awesome on it. Not at all restrictive, totally breathable. I feel like if I was in a humid sprinkling outside, I would look incredibly fashionable. My hair might be worse for wear, but I would feel fine. This is a lovely piece and my very first trench coat. Fringe was absolutely everywhere. On jackets, on skirts, cascading off of arms, Prada, Gucci. My favorite was probably this Alexander McQueen outfit. It was black with red and the red like streamed down into fringe. It was so beautiful and the motion was fantastic. And so there were quite a few things from City Chic to choose from. This one is kind of like a swim cover-up. I couldn't decide exactly what it was whenever I chose it, but that is really what it seems like to me. This is really a sheer dress also. I absolutely love the color. I think it'll be perfect by the pool. And then the bottom kind of has that knitted crochet, very much like the Aircon Tory Burch piece that I was talking about earlier, minus all the studying. But I think that this one's gonna have some really fun motion. On the City Chic site, you can watch the models walk in the dress, and that's what sold me on this one. My other piece is this fringe jacket that just feels so incredibly cool to me. It cascades off the arms, it cascades off the back. Bringing this one on was totally inspired by that Alexander McQueen outfit. Loved it. I can't wait to see what this looks like on. Let's hope for some cool days ahead in Texas. Okay, so I want to apologize for the dog scratches on the door. In the event that you didn't see them, I'm sorry for drawing attention to them, but this is a real house and real people live here. And dogs are people too. This one is fun. It's really interesting. My daughter said that she would not wear it, but I think at the right type of event, which to me, the only type of event that could possibly, that I think that this would really work for me would be like a pool party or a tiki party. And my brother-in-law is a tiki, I wanna say nut, but that doesn't sound very nice. So a tiki aficionado. And he has the most amazing tiki bar. I mean, there's like teak wood roof. They've extended their patio. It is absolutely gorgeous. They've got a volcano. He's got like tiki statues that he carves himself. Very, very cool. This would fit in 100%. I think that it's got a lot of fun motion. Let me walk away from you. Like a lot of fun motion. Now, it is practically sheer. I am actually currently wearing like beige colored like shorties and a beige colored strapless bra. I decided not to put a swimsuit or anything under it, but I think that if you did wear a swimsuit under it, you would definitely see the print through. Because I'm wearing these and they blend in pretty well with my skin tone, I think I could be comfortable out like this. So, okay, so these are part of my honorable mentions, and this jumpsuit kind of fits in, not really as a full trend, but there was a lot of talk about simplicity because of like the state of the economy, trying to find one-piecers, trying to find things like that, and it had a lot of floral. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and make it work. And so I put this down as an alternate as well as this, and they ended up sending them to me. And y'all, this jumpsuit is gorgeous. Look, it has these sweet little pom-poms up here at the top. I really love almost everything about it. The reason is because like once it's on, it is fantastic, but I cannot put it on my own. It has a zipper that it's just too difficult for me to get up on my own, which means that it would either have to come in with a built-in bathroom friend, or I would need to have a party at my own house where I can rely on one of my people / toss it off and put on a spare outfit. So I don't know. I love that, but that is my biggest issue with jumpsuits, particularly the ones that have zippers in the back. This is like the stuff of my 90s childhood dreams. It is like every vision of what a cool person was to me, with the black suede, the really awesome fringe, all of the silver hardware. I feel like this could totally be part of the 90s revival. It's got kind of the short crop jacket. I really, really think that this is gonna become part of my wardrobe. And let me tell you, I will be wearing this to work one day and turning some heads and getting some comments because it's fantastic. That's fringe done right, my friends. It totally doesn't go with a jumpsuit, and that is okay. I would totally style this with possibly that black top. That comes in like I think an oat color also. I would love to do that, and maybe a lighter wash denim. Yeah, this is how I would style it. These pieces. And then I would be super cool. Y'all realize that there are tons of fashion trends, and like to me, a trend is something that I see popping up over and over again. And that's where I chose these categories. So there were definitely tons of others that either City Chic didn't have something that would work, like kind of the prep school look, that wasn't their take, or there were just some things that maybe I wouldn't wear, like the short movement. So my favorite, if you didn't know, is the floral. Let me tell you, floral is totally in vogue for 2024, but it is always in fashion in my heart. I had lots of thoughts on my showstopper, like my way to tie it all up. My first thought was this guy to kind of fall in the metallic category. The trend that I would love to make a comeback would be the flapper style, roaring 20s, bringing it back, wearing it on the streets. This is the closest to that I could find, and Fringe does definitely touch on that, but I just didn't think that this was a practical outfit for me. So I went with my favorite theme, which is the florals, and I found some beautiful roses. Let me show you this skirt. This skirt is a slip-on. I thought whenever I initially saw this that it would be absolutely gorgeous for Valentine's Day. That's around the time that it came out, and I've had my eye on it ever since. And whenever I was researching this and I first saw those florals where people had the dimensional flowers all over themselves, I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason to have this skirt. But it has kind of a corseted top. I could see myself wearing the skirt more than I could the corseted top, but I really wanted to give the whole outfit a chance. And so, yeah, I'm interested. One important thing of note, and that I want to remind you, is that you shouldn't let fashion trends or anyone, me included, tell you what you should wear. You should wear whatever makes you happy. Me personally, I want to find clothes that make me so happy that I am spinning around in my living room and I cannot wait to go tell my people how much fun this outfit is. Okay, so I decided that I was gonna end this with a bang and something that I would absolutely not buy myself. I thought that this was so fun. It's got my big flowers. It has this fun corseting. I honestly can't think of one place that I would wear it, but I love it. I might use this as my new like vacuuming the stairs dress. I don't know how practical it is, but it's very stretchy. Like you could do just about anything in here. I mean, really, I want you to look at the stretch in this guy. These are really nice boning, but they do have a lot of stretch to them. The back has a zipper and it has a little tab that has a button. The whole outfit is a little bit ridiculous, but I knew it would be that way. And in all honesty, I kind of love it. The model wore it lower to where there was some belly showing. That's not a me thing, but I was able to pull it up kind of to where I wanted it. And yeah, I think this is a fun way to end our spring fashion trends of 2024. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If you like exploring plus size clothing options and different brands and seeing what's out there, I would love it if you would stay with me and subscribe. Liking, commenting, and sharing always helps me out. And you, look at me. You have an awesome day. All right, I'll see you in the next one.